Amid huge losses of the occupation army, the mobilization of the male population for the war against Ukraine continues in Russia. It is carried out in a covert mode. Prisoners are also recruited, Ukrainian intelligence reported at the end of February.
In order to make up for large-scale losses in manpower, the enemy continues covert mobilization in the Russian Federation, in particular in the regions of the Caucasus. Active forced mobilization of men of military age continues, with the aim of sending them to participate in hostilities on the territory of Ukraine. All men are subject to mobilization, regardless of their state of health and desire to fight. A large number of those mobilized are citizens who have served or are serving sentences in penitentiary institutions.
The Russian authorities plan to draft 400,000 contract servicemen by the end of the year, the Russian propaganda media reported. Dmitry Medvedev, deputy chairman of the Federation Security Council, will oversee the draft campaign. The Russian leadership is not stalled by the lack of equipment, weapons and even food for their army.
They are preparing new reserves. Being frankly, they are covertly putting up new mobilized people throughout the Russian Federation. Now we are looking at the line of intelligence, that they are preparing from 300 to 400,000 people for a new wave of their offensive for about 4 to 5 months. But at the moment there are not enough resources or opportunities to provide them. Even the mobilization itself fails.
The mobilized Russians are promised service in the territorial defense, where they only have to guard objects on Russian territory. In fact, they are sent to the front lines and thrown into frontal assaults on Ukrainian fortified areas.
We are not given a specific strategy and tactics. We are sent to the assault. There is no interaction with commanders and units. There is no support in firearms. There are no means of night and day surveillance. We are not an assault unit. We were trained as a defense force. During our first assault, 6 people were killed in one trench.
This is a fragment of a video message from those mobilized from the Kaliningrad, Murmansk and Arkhangelsk regions. It is important to understand that they do not oppose the war unleashed by Russia, they are only not satisfied with the role of cannon fodder. And recently, similar videos with complaints from the Russian army about weapons since the Second World War times, the lack of aerial reconnaissance equipment and even written orders to send to the attack have been more and more present in the global network.
We were thrown to storm the concrete fortified area of the armed forces of Ukraine, having small arms and shovels with us. As a result, it became a massacre. We suffered casualties in killed and wounded. We are not prepared for the assault.
Every day, the Russian army loses from several hundred to 1,500 soldiers killed in Ukraine. The number of wounded is even greater. Therefore, Russia is preparing a new wave of forced mobilization in the temporarily occupied part of the Ukrainian Donbass. The Ukrainian Center for National Resistance reports that the occupation military registration and enlistment offices have obliged educational institutions to provide a list of all young men born in 2006. Now they are 16, 17 years old. It is they who will become the core of the future illegal mobilization, sending Ukrainians from the occupied regions to attack Ukrainian positions. Reported by Diana Kolesnik, Valeria Nekipelova, UATV News.